Children with CAS are more likely to make sound distortions than other children with different kinds of speech sound disorders. And this is because of the difficulty they have in making accurate movement gestures. Children who have other kinds of speech sound disorders might be more likely to substitute one sound for another, or perhaps always leave off a final sound. They tend to make errors that are more consistent. For example, some children don't continue the airflow for sounds like s, and instead will stop the airflow. The next example will actually show you a child who has phonologic impairment, where the errors are more consistent and predictable, and there's very little difficulty with the actual accuracy of the movement. He's just producing the wrong sounds. This is a child who does not have childhood apraxia. Her speech sound errors are quite predictable. We call these phonologic errors. She doesn't have inaccurate movements, but is simply using the wrong sounds. Examples from this clip are nipe instead of knife, poon instead of spoon, and outtide pool for outside pool. Note that she is starting to correct her errors. Her vowels, speech rate, melody, and stress patterns are all quite good. This type of speech sound disorder is much more common than childhood apraxia of speech.
Hat.
What's this?
Window.
What's that?
Tree.
Okay, let's put him on the side. He's making noise, we can't hear you. Say this one again for me.
Telephone.
Say this one.
Tree.
Okay,
Telephone.
good job.
Cup. Night. Boon. Yeah, bit boon and little boon and bit heart and little heart.
The spoon's a big one, but what's this one?
Cup.
A cup, but what did you say? A big?
A big boon and a little boon and a bit fork and a big and a little fork.
Are these forks or knife? What's that?
Several.
Okay, who's that?
Monkey. Banana. Tree.
Good, okay.
Zipper. Zipper.
Okay, say it one time.
Zipper.
Whoa, you're thinking about your sounds.
Fiddle.
Okay.
Duck.
What color?
Lello.
What's the duck say?
Quack. Quack.
Good job. What's that thing?
Creeper.
A sweeper?
Yeah, we have a little one and a big one.
Oh.
But we just bought a red one.
You just bought a red one?
Yeah, and we did date on new red one. We good.
You could do what?
We took a date on new one. What he not our way. People. We did a date. We good.
Oh, okay.
Swimming.
She's swimming. Good job.
I want to swim in the outside pool.
You want to swim in the what?
Outside pool.
Oh, in the outside pool?
The second clip that you'll see is a child who has dysarthria, and that is also a motor speech disorder, but occurs for very different reasons than CAS. In dysarthria, the children actually have weakness or paresis of the muscles of the face, either the tongue, lips, jaw, etc., and that weakness causes sound distortions. It is easy to tell the difference between children with dysarthria and apraxia some of the time. At times, though, it can be very difficult, and a speech-language pathologist will need to help in determining which of those the child has. This first example of dysarthria is characterized by decreased breathing support and distortion of sounds that likely reflect weakness. He also has some spasticity that we hear as strain in his voice and his slow rate of speech. His comprehension and intelligence, however, are quite good.
I live in a blue house. They have a big dust. The chair has a broken leg. Don't go too near to the water. Want to Colorado for a vacation. Sounded like to yesterday. But then the dog ran across the yard. Mom is a good cook.
This child also has dysarthria, although his speech sounds different than in the previous example. That is because there are a number of different types of dysarthria depending on what areas of the brain are involved. This child has hypernasality, or too much air coming out of his nose. He also has a strained quality to his voice, which is very unusual in childhood apraxia, but is often heard in dysarthria. His speech rate is slow, and he has reduced ability to move his lips and tongue. During therapy, he is working hard to learn strategies to compensate for this weakness. Tell me how you play that game?
Play. My toys 4 and 6 people.
4 to 6 people.
Play. On toy to play the game.
To play the game.
And 6. Doing toy teams or 2 teams.
Okay, if you have 6, there are 3 teams or 2 teams. Good job. Then what happens?
And there's 2 teams and only 2 teams. 2 teams.
And then how do you win?
When I suck, it's what's it? I take away the players on the player 6 and players on down one. If you have a twice suck, that's a wild one.
That's a wild one. If you have a what?
2-eyed jack.
A 2-eyed jack. That's a wild one. Okay.